Welcome, welcome. Today I'm going to be setting up my 2025 reading journal. This first page is where I put my rating system. I don't know where I got this paper from. I've had it forever. I've been trying to use things that I already had because I'm pretty guilty of hoarding stationery and supplies and all kind of stuff like that, but whatever. Not gonna say I'm not gonna buy anything for this, but yeah, that paper I've had forever and a day. No clue where it came from. This pad came out of an Archer and Olive subscription box, the Dark Academia box, or I'm not sure if that's what it was called, something like that. You can't get it anymore, so I don't know. Doesn't matter. Anyway. I like to rank the spice in my books. I read a lot of romance. I'm into it. So, I put my little spice rating card in there. That way I can pull it out and, take a peek. Also, side note about what I'm doing right now, printed that. The image came from Canva. And I printed it on sticker paper, which I then put adhesive on the back of and glued it down when I could have just peeled it and stuck it down. So, whatever. It's fine. But anyway, my little spice card I can pull out and reference as I'm kind of reviewing my books in the back. And then for rating them, giving them my star rating, I use the Cawpile system. I'll see if I can do a link to the video where that is explained. The creator, she even for free gives you an awesome spreadsheet to put it all in, and it calculates it up for you. So I think that's really, really cool. Especially because she just gives it to you. So much appreciated, because I cannot make a spreadsheet to save my life. It's just not one of my talents, but that's a-okay. Now I'm working on my index page. So this is so I can obviously look back and find things that I'm looking for. Do I look at my index page that often? Not really, but it's nice to have, just in case. These washi tapes are, again, from Archer and Olive subscription box, and that little sticker came from Amazon. Excuse me. And the white washi is actually Scotch paper tape, and I got it at Walmart. Side note on the Scotch paper tape, it is a little stickier than normal washi tape, so if you just lay it down on your paper, you might rip your paper a little bit, but it's okay. Now I am working on a kind of a book bingo page. It's more like romance novel tropes. So that's the free space in the middle. And what I'm doing, because I like to put the book covers in there, I do that as much as I can because it just brings me joy seeing all the little tiny book covers, even if I'm seeing the same cover on multiple pages. I like it. It's fun for me. So that's what I'm doing, because if I don't like looking at this, I'm not gonna pick it up. So anyway, what I'm doing is on this top piece of paper that I'm currently writing on, I'm writing in all these different, romance novel tropes, and I have my little free space there in the middle, and then I'm gonna kind of attach this over top. So whenever I read a book that applies to one of these, what I'll do is I'll color in the box that has the words with a light colored marker so that you can still see the words, and then underneath I will place the book cover in the appropriate box. So on the top I'll still be able to read what each one is, but it'll be colored in so that I know that I've already completed that one, and then I'll be able to flip it up and see underneath what I read for that prompt. So, anyway, I have some old books that were gonna be thrown away. So, I've ripped pages out and I just tear them up and use them. I like, kind of the, I don't know, vintagey vibe, I guess. And then I also like to take those little like chalk ink pad things and sort of darken up the edges. I don't know, gives it a distressed old look, whatever. So anyway, I like it. So yeah, there it is. I used one of those clicky impression label things to make my little trope bingo label for the top. But yeah, I'm satisfied with it. Actually, this page I took out of another journal that I didn't use all of the pages in. So, and washi tape from Archer and Olive. On this page over here, I am doing a ranking matrix, which, I mean, now that I think about it, it might be pointless, and my book bracket might be pointless, but because the reason I'm saying that is because with the compile method, you end up with a number, 9.75 or whatever for each book. And so you can totally just at the end of the year look back at the numbers and pick the one that was the highest, and that's your number one book for the year. But whatever, it's fine. So with this, what you have is essentially a book, your favorite book for each month. And A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L. And so what they do is they all go head to head. So book A, that'll be the January book, will go against book B. And then book A will go against book C, and book B will go against book C. And so every book goes up against each other, and in the end, the totals for each letter or each book will be at the bottom. And so they get to compete against each other. Similar to the book bracket, but, it's supposed to be slightly more accurate because, you might have two books that are really good going up against each other, and maybe, the second book is way better than, the books in the next month, but it lost out to that really, really good book, so it's, gone and doesn't have a higher place in the ranking matrix. Anyway, I did add a little tip in there so that I could put the book covers for each of the books so that we know what book is A and what's B and whatnot. I had started my book bracket page already when I discovered somebody in some video somewhere posted about that whole ranking matrix thing, and I thought it was cool. So I just decided I would add that in, and I had a page I could put it on before the book bracket, so I just did because it's my reading journal and I can do what I want. So I decided to also have my book bracket, but it's fine because what I'll do is I'll do this, I'll do that, and then I'll compare and we'll see, what was accurate and whatnot. And yeah. So in this, I'll just write the titles into the little slots, and then at the end of the year, the winner I'll print it out with my little Polaroid zip printer and put it in that box so it gets a big cover. Okay. Now I'm working on my 25 books in 2025 page. So these are all books I'm going to try to read for sure in 2025. I did this in my 2024 journal. Did I read all of the books? No, I did not. I'm going to try to do better this year. My priority, which I said last year, is going to be to read books that I already have. Am I going to do it? I don't know. We'll see. But it's fun. It's cool. And again, book covers. So most of these books were on my list from last year. So all of these are either books that I currently have on my shelf, or they're books that are maybe part of a series that I've already started and I don't have it yet, but I know I want to finish it, or they're on maybe they're on Kindle Unlimited and I know I want to. In fact, I think there are some series on here that I have started on Kindle Unlimited that I know I want to finish. So I put them on here, even though I don't technically own them. But, I want to finish. So yeah. Any chance I get to put little book covers on the page, I take it. So these I all printed out on glossy sticker paper that I get from onlinelabels.com. I've tried printing them on the matte paper because I have the matte and I have the glossy, and I don't know, I like the look of the glossy better for the book covers. I just think it looks nicer for me. And my little star stamp I got off of Etsy, and I will see about linking that down below in case you would like to get one. Mine is I believe she had different sizes. I just said she. Maybe it's not a she. I don't know. Anyway, the seller on Etsy has different sizes, but I got the smallest one, the 1 inch, which sounds like it would be too small, but it fits perfectly with the size of my book covers. This is also the size that my book covers are if I print with my little Polaroid zip printer, and that's about the same size as the HP Sprocket, I believe. If a lot of people have that one, I think it's called a Sprocket. Anyway, so if I print 4 to a little piece of that paper, this is the size that they are. So I wanted it to be the same. So I made myself a little template in Canva, and I just pop them in and print a whole bunch out onto one sheet. Or sometimes if I don't have a lot to print out, maybe I look through some images and I print myself some stickers. So the paper down at the bottom was actually an image I found online. I think it was wallpaper that you could buy, actually. It's kind of cool. Not sure I could talk my husband into letting me put some of that up somewhere in our house. I don't know. He might let me. Anyway, I'm not trying to put up wallpaper. That sounds like a terrible time. But I printed it out on the matte sticker paper. Also, I printed this image on the matte sticker paper as well. I've joined a book club on Discord. And so this is where every book of the month for the book club, I will put the book cover in, and if I choose to read the book, because I'm going low stress. Like if I'm not interested in reading the book, I'm not going to read it, because I feel like reading is supposed to be fun. If it starts to be a chore, I'm not going to want to do it. So yeah, that's that. So if I read the book, I will put my little star rating on there. If I don't read it, I guess I'll write did not read, but I will put the cover for every book on there just kind of as a reference. I also think it's fun to challenge myself. Any kind of a challenge I'm into. So this is an alphabet challenge. So basically you read a book that starts with every letter of the alphabet. And I think there are different interpretations on how to do this. So I'll give you my interpretation or how I plan on doing it. So as far as like books that start with the word the or a, or, you know, like A Court of Thorns and Roses. Like, if I want to put that under A, I will. But if I want to put it under C, I will. You get what I'm saying here? Like, in fact, I just read The Love That Split the World by Emily Henry. And I put that under L because I already had a T book down. So, you know, it's my reading journal. I can do what I want. So anyway, this is my series tracker. I like the way I'm doing it here, much better than the way I did it last year. I feel like I have more room doing it this way. But then again, too, I am using an A5 journal now, and last year I used a B6. So I mean, that might be part of it, but also last year I felt like I had to track every series that I started. And, you know, just because you start a series does not mean that you feel led to finish it. And so this time I'm only putting series that I start that I actually want to finish. If I don't care to finish it, I'm not going to write it on here, because why waste the space? You know what I mean? So, anyway, yeah, that washi at the top, again, I believe that was from one of the Archer and Olive subscription boxes. If I have Archer and Olive stuff, it is from a subscription box, because I get that, but I don't typically just order things. So all of my Archer and Olive stuff is that pen I'm using right now, Archer and Olive, from a subscription box. I don't recall which one. Probably whatever one that washi came from, because it looks like it goes together. Sorry. Some people are really good about, you know, noting where things come from and whatnot. I guess I'm not that person. Also, if it was in a subscription box, is it really important because you probably can't get it now? You know, I don't know. Sorry. All right. So anyway, book recs. That's where I'm going to write down anytime someone I know recommends a book, or B, I see a recommendation like online, on Instagram or whatever, that I, you know, feel like I want to read. I'm going to write it down. I don't really care who the recommendation comes from, so I don't have that. I just have the title and the author, because the other is not important to me. Pretty much, if somebody recommends a book to me and I write it down, I'm going to probably remember who it was if it's somebody that I actually know. If it's not, then it doesn't matter. Cast of characters. Sometimes I have a very vivid picture in my mind whenever I'm reading of an actual person, like an actor or someone who, this is just who I'm picturing the entire time I'm reading this book. And so that is where I'm going to keep track of that. So if I read a book and I get a vivid picture in my mind of someone who fits with one of the characters, I'll print out a picture of them about the same size as my book covers, and I'll stick it down, and I will write down who, you know, what character and the book that they're from. For example, I was reading Book Lovers by Emily Henry, and the character Charlie Lastra in this book, the whole she keeps talking about his eyebrows and his glasses, and every time I think about eyebrows and glasses, I think about Dan Levy from Schitt's Creek, and so that's who I was picturing the entire time as Charlie Lastra. So yes, if you see a flip through of this art journal now, which I will try to post that on Instagram after I finally get this video uploaded, you'll see his picture there, and underneath it'll say Charlie Lastra Book Lovers, because that is who I picture. So yeah, anyway, also I want to try to read every day, even if it's just a few minutes. So this is what I'm working on right now. I'm working on, just a daily reading tracker. So I'm not going to worry about how many pages I read. I don't care. I care how many I read, like in a month or whatever, but I don't care how many I read each day. That's too much work for me personally to keep track of. I just want to keep track of if I read and if I finished a book that day. So if I read, I'm going to color in a box. If I finished a book that day, I'll put a little dot in the box with a pen. Also, I have my DNF graveyard there because I don't count books I DNF as books read. But I do like to keep track of them. I think last year I only DNF'd maybe 3 books, but so, and this fit right here. If I need more room later, I'm sure I'll have somewhere where I can squeeze in some more. That's the point of the index. You can put things in random places and still know where they are because you have your index. But yeah, hopefully I don't read too many duds this year. I don't have to DNF so much. But folks, life is too short to read books that you are not enjoying. So if you're not enjoying it, just stop. It's fine. The world is not going to end. Promise. P.S. I have already DNF'd 1 book this year, and January is not even over. But it's okay. It's fine. So this is my reading goal page. What I do is I just make boxes. I number the boxes and then I color them in. Usually I'll pick one color for a month. I'll color all the books I read, or color the boxes for the number of books that I read that month in that color, and then I'll swap to a different color for the next month. Last year I read 60 books. That was my goal and I met it. So I decided that this year I wanted to shoot for 70. So we'll see how it goes. Again, if you don't meet your goal, the world's not going to end. But it's good to make goals, because if you don't make one, you're definitely not gonna meet it. So that's more Archer and Olive washi tape, I think from like a nature subscription box. And that is a paper bag. So some of these stickers that look like that I made in Canva and printed them out on some of my sticker paper, and some of them I actually made with my little impression label maker. I think that's what it's called. But those are the ones with the label maker are a lot thicker, so they bulk things up. Not that it bothers me that much that they bulk things up, but at some point your book gets a little bit bulky, so if you can kind of cut down on that, great. Let's see. Okay, I talked about how I like challenges, and sometimes I just don't know what to read, and it's nice to kind of have a guide, I guess. So anyway, part of that book club, that Bujo Buddies book club that I've joined on Discord, they have a kind of a readathon, a year-long readathon. So basically you have on this one there are 2 prompts for each month, so you just choose a prompt, and they have flowers, because I guess there are 2 flowers for each month. I was not aware of this but there are. So basically you have your flowers for each month, which is what I'm writing down here. And then you have the meanings for the flowers, and then the prompts that kind of go along with the meanings, which I'm trying to work out here how much space I need. That's what's happening. Because I don't know, I couldn't be bothered to like fully figure it out, so I was just kind of figuring it out as I went, but it ended up working out. So for January, you have the carnation and the snowdrop. So the carnation means deep love, so the prompt is your favorite author. And the snowdrop means new beginnings, so the prompt was new to you. So I actually read, in fact, the January book for the Bujo Buddies book club was Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher, and it was really good. It was really good. 5 stars from me. But whatever. So I read that for the book club, and it actually fits one of these prompts for January, so I put it in here too, because I've never read anything by T. Kingfisher, so that was a new to me author. So yeah. So now what I'm doing is attaching another page here, because they actually supply you with some cool graphics that you can, put in your reading journal or whatever. I printed this one on sticker paper because I love me some sticker paper. Oh, look, there's my little label maker. Got that on Amazon. I will link it below. It actually has 2 little label pieces, one that does capitals and one that does lowercase, and you can swap them out, so that's kind of cool. So far I've only used the capital one, but it also has some little symbols like heart and stuff like that, so that's kind of cool. Because I have a different one from, I don't know, one of those scrapbooking brands. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it has capitals, but it has symbols. Maybe this other one doesn't have symbols. Maybe I lied to you. Oh, hold on. Okay, no, I didn't lie. So the capitals on this blue one that I had were, it has symbols on it, and okay, no, the capitals has numbers. The lower case ones have symbols. Sorry. But anyway. So anyway, with that, underneath that little flip up, I'll put the flowers, because they gave like graphics for the different flowers, so I'll put the flower in, I'll color it with my markers, and there we go. So this page is my from book to screen page. So I was just thinking about how many movies and shows and things like that are based on books, and we recently started watching A Discovery of Witches on Netflix, and I liked it, so I was like, oh, I might want to read the books. So yeah, I'll put it on here, so I have a place where I can mark if it's a movie or a TV show, and obviously the book, and then I can kind of check off if I have read and or watched them or whatever. So I also thought it would be cool whenever I'm, kind of doing my little book reviews as I read books, to kind of cut it in half and have like a, book review / movie review or TV show review. Kind of comparing the two, I guess. So anyway, quotes page was what you just saw. It's just a place to write down quotes that I like from books. And now I'm on to my January page spread here. So I did a little calendar so I can kind of track, what I'm reading and when I'm reading it. Sometimes I don't typically read 2 physical books at the same time, but I do sometimes do an audiobook and then read a physical book at the same time. So it's nice to just track what I'm doing. I wrote January on there, and then I didn't like it, so I'm covering it up. That I printed off of, it was just an image on Canva that I printed onto my sticker paper, so I stuck it down, and printed out my January. You can kind of see where it says January, where I wrote January, down the left side of that, but I'm kind of okay with it. It almost looks like like a watermark on the paper or something like that. I normally, in this box where I've stuck that old looking paper, I'm going to put my number of books read, number of pages read, number of hours listened if I have, do an audiobook that month. Also, on the right side, I'm preparing this page, but I'm leaving it blank because this is where I'm going to write stuff for my Bougie Buddies book club that month, and I don't really know how I want to format that, so that is why that side is blank. These are some January challenges that I found on YouTube that I thought seemed fun, but again, no pressure here because to finish these in January, because it's not fun. It's not fun to have pressure. It's just fun to participate. So I decided that I can do these when I want to do them. It can take as long as I want it to take. To me, these look like they have a wintry theme anyway. So, I'm allowed to do what I want. So, I do label this January challenges up at the top, but I do end up writing underneath it, but I'll finish when I finish. So one's a bingo, and one is like a Chutes and Ladders style game there. So that would be a lot. That would be a lot of books to have to read in 1 month. And I just, kudos to those who can read that much in a month. I'm a fast reader, and I can usually only manage maybe 7 books in a month. So, and sometimes less, because sometimes you just don't have time. Anyway, this is pretty much it for my setup. Look for my flip through on Instagram. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.